So the next question is, you can see that question is very big, but answer will be very small. So it is a 4 mark question, paragraph based question. So if you have noticed it here, 12 is not completed, Hasani, I think. Oh yeah, 12 is also completed, I think. Am I right, everyone? Is it desert plants? Correct, Amma?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So 12 also we completed. I think, yes, this is what. So 12th question, A part, if you take it, 1 mark, and B part, 2 mark, and C part again 1 mark. So totally 4 mark. So let it be once again, we'll discuss. And we'll continue from there. So if you have seen here, they're saying not all the plants carry out photosynthesis by the same mechanism. In most plants, photosynthesis depends directly on the gaseous carbon dioxide that diffuses into the leaf through the stomata. However, some plants such as pineapple have the ability to store the carbon dioxide in the vacuoles of the leaf cells as a part of a complex carbon compound. This complex compound is transported to the chloroplast and releases carbon dioxide when required, so for photosynthesis to occur. So this special photosynthesis mechanism is believed to have evolved as an adaptation to conserve water for survival in dry conditions. So which process in the plants does this photosynthesis mechanism minimize to help the plants survive in dry conditions? What is the plants, everybody? The loss of water in plants, we used to call something. What is the process, everyone? Which we used to call it as
Transpiration.
Transpiration.
transpiration. So what is the reason behind like a pineapple? Basically, all the desert plants, if you have noticed it, so desert plants, daytime, they will never open the stomata because they will lose the water and they will die very fastly if they will lose the water. The availability of water is less. So all the gaseous exchange in the desert plants only takes place in the night time. That is what is the sea pond. When are such plants is likely to have in carbon dioxide from the environment? Only during what time? Everybody. During the night. So during the night only they will take the carbon dioxide and they will release the other any gases are there. Now, which process it is? Transpiration. And how is the ability to store carbon dioxide as a complex compound likely to help minimize the process referred in A? So what will happen? As the carbon dioxide is absorbed nighttime and it is stored in the form of a complex compound, they no need to open what? Everybody. No need to open what? Stomata for taking CO2 from atmosphere during the what time, everybody? During daytime. Understanding? Daytime, why they need to take the why they need to take the carbon dioxide for what purpose, Amma? For carried out what? For
Photosynthesis.
carried out photosynthesis. So that is how it will be helping. So carbon dioxide can be used for photosynthesis. So that what will happen? They no need to open the stomata for taking it for photosynthesis. So no loss of water so that plants can survive by minimizing the loss of water. So that is what it will be happening. So that is only the question number 12. So it's very important question. It's a good question also. So please remember that. So the next question is regarding voluntary and involuntary actions. So if you all observe here, when some particles like sand dust fall into our eyes starts to water on their own and we blink to get the particle out of our eyes. So this is a very common action by everybody. Something fall on our eyes, what will happen? It will start irritating us. It will start like itching, burning. So automatically you can see if you try to disturb the eye or if you try to take out that outside, so automatically the eyes will start watering. And if you keep on blinking, sometimes it may stuck fully, it may not come, or sometimes it may come easily. So this is the type of a reaction to a stimulus that the human body shows. So is the above mentioned reaction is involuntary or voluntary? That is the first question. It is not in our control. As soon as dust will fall, so you never think about that watering. Automatically water will come. So it is a what? It is not in our control. So what is that call it as? Everybody. It is the
Involuntary.
involuntary. So it is we are not able to control it. You cannot stop the water in the eye. So if you cannot stop, so it is involuntary action. Do you all understand, everyone? All of you? Yes, please. Mr. Swadhan, Mr. Mugesh, Mr. Jivitesh, join properly with the numbers. I don't want to say again. Mr. Swadhan, am I audible? Mr. Mugesh also, and Jivitesh also. Next, what is the specific name given to the pathway that brings about this immediate reaction to a stimulus? Anybody? There is a specific name we have given. I think it is in second chapter, control and coordination. So we have given a specific name for that stimulus, what it is coming from the spinal cord or from the brain, whatever it is. The response, what is comes, we used to call something. What is that call it as? Everyone. Or a message, what is coming back from the brain or spinal cord for the response? What is that call it as? All of you? Yes, please. Reflex arc. What is the name we have given? Reflex arc. Next chapter, human, you can see here. The second chapter, control and coordination. What is the name of it, everyone? Reflex arc. That is only it is. So what is a specific name given to the pathway that brings about this immediate reaction to a stimulus is reflex arc. Next, what are the names given to the organ that responds to a stimulus? Organ that responds to the stimulus. What is that, Amma? Organ that responds to the stimulus. We used to call it as, above question also there, which will respond to the stimulus. What do we call it as? Everyone.
Effector.
Who is responding to the stimulus? What is call it as? Effector only. Is it right or wrong? All of you. Yes, please. So receptors are effectors. So effectors who is responding. So next question. What would happen if such mechanism is absent in humans? What would happen? Everybody. What would happen, guys, if such mechanism is absent? Arey yaar. Sorry, this is not. Sorry, this question. So yeah, what is the question? Yeah, which part of the brain that receives sensory impulses? The part of the brain that receives sensory impulses. Second chapter we have studied. Which part? Which part of the
Forebrain.
brain that receives sensory impulses? Sensory. Four,
Forebrain.
forebrain. So please remember, write it. So effectors, the organ that responds to the stimulus is the effectors, and the part of the brain that receives the sensory impulses, forebrain. So this question, I don't know why they asked in first chapter, but it is a second chapter question. Solve it, everybody. Clear, everyone? All of you? Yes? Next question.
Yes, sir.
This is a graph-based question. So this is related to oxygen carrying and all. So let us see this question. So Weddell seal, a deep sea diving mammal, has special adaptations that enable it to respire for a long periods underwater without inhaling air. So three such adaptations are given below. When diving, the blood flow to all the parts of the seal body is reduced by 80 to 95%, except for a closed circuit between the lungs, heart, and brain. Closed circuit except lungs, heart, and brain. 70% of the oxygen in the seal's body is stored in the blood, that is what in the hemoglobin, as compared to just 51% in humans. Next, 25% of the oxygen in the seal's body is stored in the muscles. That is what myoglobin, as compared to just 13% in humans. Now, in 1980, this is a general case study question. A group of scientists carried out an experiment to understand how a Weddell, Weddell seal respires underwater during dives of different durations. So, after each dive completed by the seal, they measured the concentration of lactic acid in the seal. Basically, lactic acid will comes aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration. Everybody? Aerobic or
It's
anaerobic?
a respiration.
Aerobic
Anaerobic respiration.
respiration. So that is the first thing you have to remember. So it is the anaerobic respiration. Now, the graph below represents the data obtained by the scientist. So this is what it is. You can see. So when it is, all of you observe. So as I already every time I used to represent, if it is the parallel to the x-axis, parallel to the x-axis means in the sense of what? It is remains what? All of you, constant. Understand everybody? Now, if you observe here, 10 minutes dive, 20 minutes dive, 30 minutes dive, that is what 10 to 20 minutes. You can see the duration from 10 to minutes 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So up to 20 minutes dive, the amount of lactic acid, is remains constant. Do you all agree with me? Everybody? Yes, please. Respond everybody. So if it is time become 30 minutes, 25 minutes approximately increases. If the time minutes 40 minutes, have you checked it everyone? Increases. When the time becomes 50 minutes greater, if the diving time is more and more, if the diving time becomes now approximately 60 minutes, if the diving time become more than that, you can see is all of you. So the amount of lactic acid is keep on increasing. Will you all agree with me, everyone? Yes, please respond, all of you. Now, the question they are asking is a very mathematical question also. So based on the graph, what can be inferred about the change in the respiration happening in the seal's body after 20 minutes underwater? Justify your answer. See, all of you observe, up to 20 minutes, it is a stagnant value. After 20 minutes, it is randomly increasing. So that is what? Ninth class, what you studied, the same thing. Understanding? So after that, what? If it is a straight line, what is to say? It is the uniform motion. So uniform motion. If it is the curved path, what is to call in physics? All of you. Remember ninth class? Non-uniform motion. So what will happen? What is non-uniform motion? So the speed and time is not remains constant. Same way here. After 20 minutes, if the diving time is more than 20 minutes, so then the lactic concentration of lactic acid is increasing very rapidly. So what does it mean? So more than 20 minutes means if you are keep on diving inside the water, so your body needs more energy or less energy for swimming? Everybody. Yes, please. More energy or less energy? You are not that sea animal. Yes, please. More energy it needs. So what will happen? So that the more respiration process will takes place. So since the blood does not reach the muscles during this dive, so what will happen? The oxygen stored in the blood is useful for the swimming, and it will produces the more amount of lactic acid, because you can see here. So how much amount of oxygen is stored in the blood? Everybody. 70%, 70% of the oxygen in the seal body is stored in the blood. Only 50, like in humans, it is just about 51%. So during the diving, no oxygen supply to the blood. So only the oxygen which is present in the blood is only useful for the respiration. So that is the reason what will happen. The sharp rise in the lactic acid concentration will take place after 20 minutes. If the diving time is more than 20 minutes, it is indicating that Which respiration is taking place? Aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration? Everyone? Yes, please. Am I audible? Aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration, guys?
Anaerobic respiration.
Anaerobic respiration. So that is what? It is rise in the lactic acid. We'll observe that. Next, adaptation R helps the seal the most to produce energy for swimming during the first 20 minutes of a dive. Adaptation R. What is adaptation R? Check it, everybody. 25% of the oxygen in the seal's body is stored in the muscles. Muscles. Okay. Now, as compared to just 13% in humans. Now, what is the advantage for that? Adaptation R helps the seals to most to produce energy for swimming during the first 20 minutes for a dive. So explain why adaptation P and Q do not help as much, they're asking. So what is the reason, guys? Basically, lactic acid produced at which part of the body? Anybody can tell? Ma, which part of the body, Amma? Lactic acid produces in humans also. We have studied. If you are not saying, then
Muscles.
what is it? Yeah, where the lactic
Muscles.
acid is
Muscles.
produced. You might be remember that when we will get the muscle cramps. When
The
we'll get the muscle
muscles.
cramps? When we are working, when we are running and all, suddenly we'll experience the muscle cramps. Muscle cramps. So because where at which part of that, even we have studied, I have taught you also. We have to take the hot
Muscle.
water. Yeah, hot water massage and all. If you get any kind of muscle cramps and all, we have to get the hot water massage and we have to slowly we have to press it. That is all we have studied it. So in which part of our body it will produce the lactic acid? Everyone. Yes, please. Muscles only. You
Muscles.
all understand, everyone? So, if you observe here very carefully, in P and Q, if you notice it, most of the oxygen is stored. And if it comes to the muscles, only 25% is stored. So that is why P and Q is not going to help them, help the seal. What is the reason behind? Because if suppose more oxygen is stored in the muscles, does the lactic acid concentration will increase? That is what is my question. Everybody, do you understand what I'm saying? If the amount of oxygen is more in the muscles, then it will take more time to release the lactic acid. Is it right or wrong, guys? Yes, please. All of
Yes,
you?
sir.
So that is the reason. Because if you want to swim, you need what? Muscles, oxygen, muscle energy for muscles or energy for blood. Whom you need? You need more oxygen. If you want to swim, movement, guys. Movement means which part of the body needs more energy. If you are swimming, which part of your body needs more energy? If you want to move, if you want to swim,
Muscles.
muscles. Am I audible? Do you all having understanding or not? Yes, please. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we need energy for muscles because muscles are helping in movement. Muscles are helping for swimming. So muscles need more energy. But what is the problem for this Weddell seal? Muscles only how much oxygen is stored? Only 25% oxygen is stored. So what will happen? So that is why adaptation R is help the Weddell seal for swimming. But P and Q is not going to helpful for them because they won't be transported during inside the dive. Once it will come up only it will be. Once it will be inside, so what will happen? So there is no use of them because they will never help them for the sea animal seal for the swimming purpose. So that is why adaptation or help the seals to most to produce energy for swimming for during the first 20 minutes of the dive. So explain why adaptation P and Q do not help as much as because P and Q is not helping them because it is stored in the where? Brain. First one is a blood, like you can see lungs, heart and brain. And next one is in blood. So these are not going to helpful for the movement. Only who is going to helpful for the movement? The oxygen which is stored in the muscles only. So that is the reason. So it will be happening. All of you clear? So the most of the energy needed for swimming is produced by the whom? Is produced by the muscles only. So that is why the adaptation of R will helpful for them. That is why first 20 minutes they will go as deeper as possible because muscles will help them. But once they will reach us more than 20 minutes, then they cannot dive deeper inside. What is the reason? Anybody can guess? More than 20 minutes over. After that, they cannot dive deeper. What is the reason? Anyone? I'm asking you, what is the reason, guys? After that, what will happen? After 20 minutes, they cannot dive more deeper. What is the reason? Within 20 minutes, they can go as deeper as possible. After 20 minutes, they cannot go deeper inside. What is the reason? Anybody?
They cannot respire.
Because after
They
that,
cannot
muscles oxygen will be over. So that what will happen? Anaerobic respiration will takes place. So anaerobic respiration takes place means what it will happen? It will produce what? More
Lactic acid.
lactic
lactic
acid.
acid.
Understanding? So a rapid rise of lactic acid. So that is the reason. So first 20 minutes only they can dive as much as possible. After that, they have to hunt for food or whatever it is they will do that. So that is the reason only R can help them. Suppose imagine if in place of R, instead of 25, 70%, if 70% oxygen is stored in the muscles, then they can go even more deeper inside because more amount of oxygen is available for them. Am I right or wrong? Everybody? You all clear? Mr. Swadan, I called you 2 times. Mr. Mukesh also. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, then you not understand. I told you to rename correct, Mr. Swadan. You won't understand English. Do it, ma. Do you all understand this question? Mitaksri, Abhirami, Hasani?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So it's very important
Yes, sir.
question. It is regarding like what we can say is a complete like these questions comes only your language skill needed for writing. If you write something, they won't give the answer. So you have to explain everything point wise. So what will happen? Here, understanding graphs is very important. So without having proper knowledge in physics, you people cannot understand anything here. So that is what it is. So yesterday Harish asked one question in electricity graph also. Of course, that today we are going to discuss in offline class. So we'll see that. So do you all understand everybody? So please remember if there is a straight line, constant rise. If there is a rapid curved path, that is indicating a rapid growth. That is what is the things. If it is parallel to x-axis, remains constant. So please remember that, all of you. So now, after this next question, you can also see this question. So now Anita conducted an experiment to examine photosynthesis in aquatic plants kept in a tank by measuring dissolved oxygen. So as we all knows that photosynthesis takes place in the aquatic plants only by dissolved carbon dioxide, dissolved oxygen. Of course, photosynthesis we want only dissolved carbon dioxide. I don't know what. Let it be. So now she plotted her results in the following graph X. This is what graph X. So time and dissolved oxygen milligrams per liter. What is that, everybody? Milligrams per liter. Okay, everyone? All of you? Now, she repeated the experiment while covering the tank with an opaque black cloth. Opaque black cloth. She plotted the results in the following graph Y. So that is what dissolved oxygen by the time milligram per liter. See that initially at 7. So later time is keep on increases. It is keep on decreasing. So this is decreases. Now, what could be the aim of her experiment? Anybody can tell? See, before it is she exposed openly. Now, after that, she covered with a black cloth. So, what is her experiment? Anybody? See, she is covered with a black cloth. Black cloth means what will happen? No light will fall. So that what will happen? No light is reaches. So that what will happen, guys?
No photosynthesis.
No photosynthesis takes place. So now you understand and tell me what is her main aim? Anybody? Yes, please. See, when she exposed here, is kept in a measuring. She plotted the results. Now here it is not open. It is sunlight is falling. So we notice that there is a rise in oxygen level. So dissolved oxygen is keep on increases because photosynthesis is taking place. So that oxygen is produced. So it is rise in oxygen. Now here photosynthesis is not taking place. So it is covered with a black cloth. Black cloth means what will happen? Complete absorption. No light will goes inside. So no photosynthesis. So that is why we are noticing here the amount of dissolved oxygen is keep on decreasing. Here decreasing and here increasing. So now what could be the aim of our experiment? Everybody. She is covering with the black cloth. Indicates that no sunlight will fall. So what is the main purpose? We have been done. Like you can imagine. We kept the plant inside the room. What is the purpose? We'll put the plant inside the room. Yes, please. What is the purpose, Ra? We put the plant inside the room. Oh, such a people, Ra, wow, you people, horrible people it is. We have been kept the plant inside the room so that no light will reach us. To prove that which experiment it is. To prove that, sure. What is the purpose we are keeping the plant for putting inside? It is not to takes place. What is the purpose, Ra? I think first chapter.
Sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis.
Sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. That is only correct. This experiment you people not remember. So what is the purpose we are putting the plants inside the things? You can notice here this experiment. So we have to prove that which is necessary. Sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. That is the purpose we are putting it inside. So that is only this. So that is what exactly they are asking. So what is the purpose of what is our aim, everybody? To prove that, to show that light is necessary for what?
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. This much poor means nobody can ask. Now, apart from photosynthesis, what other cellular process can be observed by the experiment? Anybody?
Respiration.
Yes, please. So we all know photosynthesis, plants always two process will take place. What is the process? Along with the photosynthesis, so there is another process which will continuously takes place. What is that? Everybody? Respiration. That is only,
Respiration.
okay. So apart from the photosynthesis, what cellular process can be observed by the experiment? That is what? Respiration. So the respiration only, what will happen? The amount of oxygen will be observed. You can see here. If photosynthesis takes place, they will release the excess oxygen. But if the photosynthesis not takes place, what will happen? Respiration will carried out so that they will take the oxygen, dissolved oxygen. That is why there is a decrease in oxygen. So it is indicating that respiration, and it is indicating what? First graph. First graph indicating what? All of you. Photosynthesis. That is only the next question you can see. So why does the oxygen level rise in the graph X? They are asking. What is the reason? Why does the oxygen level increases? Anybody?
Oxygen is released during photosynthesis.
Because as the presence of light, plants will carry out the photosynthesis so that excess oxygen is released from the plants. So that is why there is a rise in oxygen. And the second graph, next question. Explain the downward slope of the graph Y. Why the Y graph, the downward slope? Because it is covered with the what cloth? Black cloth. No photosynthesis takes place. No photosynthesis reaction carried out. So that what will happen? Respiration only takes place. Only respiration carried out. So the oxygen level keep on decreases. That is why it is negative slope, decreasing slope. I hope you all understand, everybody. Am I right? Please respond. So that is what you have to remember. So the oxygen is used by the plants for the respiration. So no oxygen is produced. Only respiration carried out. So no photosynthesis. So amount of oxygen is keep on decreases because plants will use up for respiration. So in first case, along with the respiration, photosynthesis is carried out. So excess oxygen is released by the plants so that oxygen level is keep on increases. That is what is your answers. I hope you am I clear? Everyone, do you all understand, Amma? Any doubt, anybody can ask. Clear, guys? Yes, please. All of
Yes,
you.
sir.
So do it. Next question. So this is the question number 15. Next question. Question number 16, all of you. So what is the question number 16? You see, terrestrial animals use lungs to breathe, while the aquatic animals, like fishes, use gills to absorb dissolved oxygen in water. But frogs are organisms that can survive both in water and as well as in land. That is why we used to call some name for them. Anybody can tell? What is the name of the frogs?
Amphibians.
There, what is the animals who can survive in both land as well as in water? We used to call it as
Amphibians.
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 Understanding? So frogs outside, if they are living in the land, they will use lungs. If they are living in the water, they are using the, so of course skin also they are using a respiration part. Now, how does a frog acquires oxygen while it is in underwater? What is the part it will use? Everybody. Skin. Do you remember everybody? No gills. No gills is present in the frogs. So inside the water, what will happen? Frog skin is actually a very, very smaller, like a lighter and thinner. So the frog skin is actually will take the oxygen, dissolved oxygen from the water when it is inside the water. And if it is in outside, what will happen? If it is in a land, how it will happen? It will be breathed directly. Yes, please. It will be directly breathed from what? From the lungs itself. So that is why if you have been taken, so what is the respiratory organs in the frogs? Skin as well as lungs. In the land, it will take through the lungs, and if it will go to the water, it will breathe through the skin only. So the skin is very, very lighter and thinner. It is like it is ready to take the oxygen and as well as water also. So that oxygen will be dissolved and again water will be expelled outside. So how it will be happen? It will take up the dissolved oxygen from the water through the process of, there is a process which will absorb the water. What is the name of that chemical process? Anybody?
Diffusion.
Diffusion. So by the process of diffusion, it will take the dissolved oxygen so that it will be survive in the water. Now, are lungs of terrestrial animals and gills of fishes analogous organs? Explain why or why not. So basically, you people don't know analogous organs. It is in heredity. After that, it will come. So heredity, evolution, it will come. So, but it is deleted for us, but still it is given. I will give you. So, what do you mean by analogous organs? First, learn. Analogous organs means whatever the different shape or different thing, same purpose. So, the purpose is same. So, that is what we used to call it as analogous organ. So, now you tell me, is the lungs and terrestrial animals, gills, the gills and lungs, is both are analogous organs? Anybody?
Yes.
Yes or no? Please respond.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Remember, different structure, but similar function or same purpose. Then they are called it as analogous organs. So now lungs is different, gills is different, but the same purpose, both for respiration only. So that is why we used to call them as analogous organs. So please note it, everybody. So explain why or why not. So that is what it is. So both are same purpose, different shape, but same purpose. Next, why do aquatic animals have a higher breathing rate than the terrestrial animals? This question I won't answer. You have to tell me. What is the reason? Compared to us,
Dissolved oxygen is
terrestrial animals,
low in water.
yes. So the dissolved amount of oxygen is lesser. Availability of oxygen is lesser in water compared to the terrestrial. That is what in air. So that is why to meet the required oxygen for their body, they need to breathe more times or less times? Everyone.
More
Breathe more times. That is only the answer. The amount of dissolved oxygen in water is lower compared to the oxygen present in the air. So that is why they need to breathe faster. So even for us also, suppose if I keep you in a closed room where the oxygen supply is very less, automatically your breathing rate will increase. Is it right or wrong, everybody? It is the action of everyone's, humans also. If the amount of oxygen is less, automatically our breathing rate will increase us. So same thing happened to the aquatic animals. So the dissolved oxygen is less, so that more times they have to breathe to supply the sufficient oxygen for the body. That is what you have to